From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Ants Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Well, good evening, everyone. I do not expect to do a deep dive forecast today because, yeah, we've got some things to talk about, but I don't think it's going to take very long to give you some of the specifics. So let's get you right into it. Start off with the headlines. I'm expecting the dry and warmer conditions to start tomorrow, but we're really going to start to see those warmer temperatures by the end of the week and this weekend. I'm also expecting some gusty north winds. Now, as early as tomorrow in the afternoon, they'll start to pick up through the day tomorrow, but the strongest will be on Thursday and into Friday, and highs getting close to 80 degrees for many of us in the valley here, especially for the end of the week and into the weekend. But we do expect cooler weather to return near the middle of next week. All right, so let's start with Futurecast. Any showers we see this evening are going to really start to wrap up as we go into tonight. By about 10 o'clock, most of it's gone. Maybe a leftover flurry here and there off over the eastern mountains, but overall, things are drying out. By tomorrow morning, it's completely dry. Mostly clear, a few clouds up to the north, but those clouds should start to clear out, especially as we go into Wednesday night and into Thursday. Now, this is when we really start to see those winds begin to ramp up, which we'll take a closer look at here in just a second. But let's start off with the overall setup. We've got this ridge of high pressure here building over to the west of us. Now, this is a classic setup for some gusty north winds. Here you can see high pressure to our west, low pressure to our east. We're sandwiched between the two. And what happens is the winds funnel between the high and low pressure system and give us those gusty north winds that we typically see around here with this type of setup. Now, I expect, as I mentioned, the strongest winds will be on Thursday. It'll linger on into Friday with the gusty winds, but they'll start to subside, especially for the second half of the day on Friday. Now, of course, the temperatures too, mid to upper 70s, close to 80 in the valley. For the mountains, low to mid 60s, and for the coast, in the mid to upper 60s for your daytime highs. Now, over the weekend, the winds die down, high pressure still in place, maybe just a tad cooler, maybe not as warm as we'll see on Thursday and Friday, but still well into the 70s for the valley. Then, by early next week, that high pressure begins to break down. Cooler air moves in from the north by around Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. That means another drop in our temperatures, but it's fairly moisture starved, meaning there probably won't be a lot of rain associated with that going into the middle of next week, but still a chance for showers nonetheless. So we look at the winds here. We're going to take you into tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, as we take you around the noon hour, notice in the valley, we're beginning to see the winds pick up a little bit. Nothing major, but we'll call it breezy, a little gusty at times, but notice not as bad for the coast and not as bad pretty much in the mountains either. Then we take you into your Wednesday afternoon. Winds still fairly strong. Now notice too, it's on the the central and east side of the valley that we see the strongest winds Wednesday afternoon. Then we go into your Thursday. We're going to take you into Thursday morning here. And the winds are starting to pick up even more. Now notice here too, the foothills east of the valley. That's where I expect to see some really strong winds. But notice too also, on the north and west side of the valley, now this is where we're going to see the strongest winds. Look at Chico, 2 miles per hour, but 20 miles an hour in Redding. So it depends on where you are in the valley. The coast, not that bad, and really not that bad for the eastern mountains at this point, Thursday morning. As we go into Thursday in the afternoon, now we can start to see those northeast winds pretty gusty for many of the higher elevations in the eastern mountains. Still pretty gusty in the north and west side of the valley, not as bad for Chico on Thursday. And then again, you'll notice west of the valley, the winds not that bad. And that'll probably continue into Friday, although Friday the winds will start to subside. So warmer temperatures, but also gusty winds at times, starting as early as tomorrow afternoon, but especially for Thursday into Friday. There you can see the wave heights for your Wednesday. They are starting to drop. Looks like they may drop a little bit here going into your Thursday as well. But when we look at the marine forecast, there actually is a small correct advisory through tomorrow afternoon with north winds on Wednesday at about 10 to 20 knots. Now I'd say take a look at our forecast for tonight. Temperatures dropping down to the upper 30s, low 40s in the valley. But look at the mountains. Temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. Upper 20s, low 30s for Trinity County. Mid 30s, mid to upper 30s for the north coast. So we look at our neighborhood forecast, starting off with Trinity County. Temperatures on Wednesday should be in the upper 50s to low 60s. So yes, we're going to start to see our temperatures increase tomorrow, but they're really going to notice the increase in those temperatures by around Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend. 55 Eureka, 57 for Blue Lake, and there you can see Garberville, about 60 degrees. Your North Coast neighborhood forecast to the north, with Smith River about 59, 60 in Hoopa, and Orleans about 59 degrees. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, 54 for Happy Camp, 51 in Fort Jones, and McLeod, a high of about 49 degrees. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast with 46 for Tule Lake, 43 in Alturas and Cedarville, about 38 degrees. And your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 40s, although you can see around Paradise, much warmer than that at 59, 56 degrees in Shingletown, and Janesville, a high of about 45 degrees. Your Valley neighborhood forecast, it's warming up, mid-60s, but it'll definitely be warmer by the time we get into Thursday, Friday, closer to 70 on Thursday, and there are those 70s making their way into the forecast as we go into the weekend. 60 for Whiskeytown, 63 for the city of Shasta Lake, 61 in Lakehead, and for your Wednesday, look for a high of 64 degrees in Red Bluff. So there's your 7-day outlook for Redding. We've got the breezy conditions picking up through the day on Wednesday. Winds will be strongest on Thursday, and then breezy winds as the winds start to die down on Friday. Now the wind's no longer really a factor over the weekend, but it will still be warm, mid to upper 70s, around 77 for St. Patrick's Day, and the first day of spring is next Tuesday with that slight chance for showers and temperatures still in the mid 70s.